Our missions recently have seen us team up with the Lukari as they develop their own exploration program based off of Alliance technology. The ultimate end goal is to have them join the Federation, but our experiences have been clouded by the involvement of the Tzenkethi. Well, this species of lumbering lizard has historically been at war with both the Federation and the Klingon Empire, but is now developing a protomatter weapon to eradicate organic matter on entire planets. They've seemingly been hitting remote worlds beyond Federation borders in an attempt to evade detection, but there's a greater angle at play here. On several of the worlds the Tzenkethi have hit, we've discovered these crystalline structures, so as analysis begins on these, we have other leads to pursue.
While searching for signs of weaponized protomatter, one of our long-distance research probes made a most curious discovery. It found a Class M planet at the heart of the Gonkra Nebula. That's not the most exciting news, however. The probe detected the presence of sentient life on the planet. The biosigns were very similar to our own. It is possible that we have discovered a lost tribe of Lukari. We're going to investigate, and we'd like some backup. The probe went offline rather suddenly after detecting the planet. These people might not be very friendly.
The Gonkra Nebula is well beyond Federation-explored space out on the edge of the charted worlds and remains completely unexplored by the UFP. It will take months of travel to reach it by warp speeds, but fortunately, we have slipstream drive at our disposal.
Very little on this sector is known to us or our allies. We have recently established contact with the sector's most prominent inhabitants, the First Federation. They are somewhat enigmatic, but encouraging, especially where Tranya is concerned.
The First Federation is an entirely separate entity from the UFP, and it was contacted in 2266 by Kirk and the Enterprise. We know little about them, but they have engaged in trade and cultural exchanges before, maintaining peaceful relations. But we are passing their border now in favour of heading into the unknown. The Green Nebula expands before us as we delve into its murky depths.
I'm reading a group of starships out there. They're armed, shielded, and combat capable. Let's hope they're not hostile as well. As the ranking officer here, I believe you should be the first to initiate contact.
Alright then, how should we do this? Should we go with Hale? This is Mark... No, that'll confuse them. It's greetings? No, let's go with... Open channel. Welcome! Nice nebula you've got here. Can they hear us? Is it working? With no response forthcoming to my excellent greeting, we scan the nebula to see if there's any interference. Well, everything seems to work, but Kamaki did say they have similar life signs, so perhaps she should give it a go?
Curious. Perhaps they might respond more favorably to a familiar face. May I open a channel?
By all means, they're ignoring me.
Unidentified vessels. This is Captain Kumar K. of the LSS Reskava. I extend cordial greetings in the interest of establishing peaceful contact between us.
Oh good, so it's not just me then. Is the Universal Translator online? It is. Do we have enough data for it?
I'm not certain. Wait, they're locking weapons. I don't understand. The Reskava did nothing to provoke this attack.
Ha! Now you know what it's like being me. Not wanting to make too bad of a first impression, we aim to disable their ships, which is done incredibly easily. With the 3 intercepting vessels disabled, we receive a communications from the planet's surface. Hopefully we can clear this up before it escalates.
Alien vessels, this is Prime Minister Tulaman of the Kentari Union. I've ordered our forces to cease hostilities, and ask you to do the same.
Yeah, we apologise for, breaking your ships and making them cease hostilities. Would like an explanation, considering all we did was say hello.
There's been a grave misunderstanding. It is customary for us to discuss such grievances in person. Will you accept my invitation to parley?
Yes. If we're done exchanging fire, send me coordinates to beam down and we can exchange words instead.
The Kentari. They survived. Somehow they managed to survive the devastation of Kentar and make it here. Incredible. Historically, Kentari were quick to distrust and attack. It would seem that hasn't changed. We should be cautious. Despite that, I am ready to transport when you are.
What we know of the Kentari is that they originated from the planet Kentar, itself recently discovered by the Lukari. Kentar was ruined by environmental damage and the Lukari left for their own world. It seems that since the Great Exodus, the Kentari have also relocated to a new system, one we've just stumbled upon. As for their tech, it doesn't seem anywhere near as advanced as ours, maybe even the Lukari's.
By the 14 sacred trees of Lukar. The Kentari destroyed one world with their toxic ways, and it seems they're well on their way to destroy another. Unbelievable. This Prime Minister has much to answer for. Where is she, by the way? And why are we meeting on the street?
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering about that myself. Just then Chief Tun contacts us to let us know that the Kentari Prime Minister has just informed the Armiger that their coordinates were off because of an error. She offers to relocate us to the government building, but we're only a couple of streets away anyway, so we decide to walk it.
That Kentari on the street looks quite ill.
A brief examination reveals this collapsed Kentari to effectively be poisoned. His lungs are full of contaminants and toxins from the atmosphere. We have to leave him for now, and we set off towards the Prime Minister's office.
Reading high levels of toxic chemical emissions in the area.
Looking around through this pervasive green mist, there are numerous Kentari in similar lethargic states, some collapsed on the street, and most of them wearing breathing masks to try to filter out these toxins. Some are even in full hazard suits, which at least those appear to work. It seems we were unprepared for this because every few feet or so we have to stop to catch our breath. We examine one exhaust vent.
They still use unregulated exhaust systems? Unbelievable. How peculiar. The doors here have built-in filtration systems.
We approach one of these street-level doors and give it a not-so-subtle scan. We stick out like a sore thumb anyway, so there's no point trying to be subtle. Temet remarks the filtration system is substandard at best.
What's that machine off to the side? Some sort of miniature store?
Yeah, vending machine. Earth still has them, it's just you push a button and you get stuff. Although this one seems to require money.
It's full of breathing aids. People poison the air here and charge others to withstand it.
Yep, a lot of species do flirt with this sort of denial.
Does that fluid look off to you?
There are small drips coming from an overhead pipe. Walking through them registers enough acidic content for our personal shielding to flare up and register it as an attack. Many people are in coughing fits in this pervasive pollutant, and everywhere we see signs of a lack of oversight. Litter, vandalism. People left to suffer.
I've never seen this level of suffering.
Yeah, well, if you don't like it, stick away from 21st century Earth history. It's difficult, but a society can at least pull itself out of that state. One weird thing though, the produce around here is remarkably fresh. As we step into a closed-off section of the city, we can see several Kentari lying around this square, while our path is blocked by debris and scrap. Amid the neon signs burning through the smog is graffiti protesting the monetization of the masks, as well as posters to rise up.
Oh, they pile the refuse in the streets. It's barbaric.
Well, perhaps there's nowhere else for it to go. Perhaps people aren't taking it away.
There are still heat signatures on this junk. It was placed here recently.
Kill the Lukari! and her alien lackeys.
Suddenly, the surrounding Kentari spring up and they are armed. They open fire on us, but with inferior technology and no shielding, they are quickly stunned.
I see hatred for Lukari still burns in the hearts of some Kentari, along with violent xenophobia. Hopefully their leadership is of a more diplomatic nature.
Yeah, let's go talk to them, shall we? And I've had enough of this. I'm not finding another way through. I'm setting up an explosive to destroy this. There we go. What do you mean, why did I bring spatial charges to a diplomatic mission? Although, yes, I can see how an alien landing party setting off bombs in the city could look bad. Big face on the TV screen with messaging everywhere. That's clearly someone important.
The Capitol building is a short distance from here.
Before we go on, we stop to look at the easily accessible news channels. These terminals, as well as ones dotted around, are broadcasting constantly.
The lunar colony is providing just enough food to support the Kentari population at current consumption levels. The government has launched a new farm labor program aimed at increasing food production and adding new jobs. The program is expected to launch prior to the beginning of the next crop cycle on the colony. Jitnan Rune, number 41 of the South Capitol Steelbenders, received an award from the Office of the Prime Minister for charitable service yesterday. After the team's victory over the North Capitol Forgers, Rune celebrated by purchasing gold-bay breathers for each fan in the stadium. The structural integrity of several housing blocks has been called into question by independent analysts. Ministers of the Building Authority deny any cause for concern as tower extension projects aimed at elevating the blocks above the smog level have commenced. The smog business epidemic is on the rise. If you find a citizen collapsed on the street, call the nearest medical station. When you purchase breathers, make sure you provide for your children before you provide for yourselves. We must secure the future.
However, the stories coming from this news station are competing with the nearby ones from another terminal.
Asteroid mining in the system has revealed a new mineral. Its primary use lies in power generation, and it could serve as a high-energy alternative to chemical and atomic fuel sources currently in use. The Kentari Energy Consortium has secured initial rights to harvesting the mineral known as Ardenite. Contrary to reformist propaganda, smog levels are stable and decreasing in some quadrants. Yes, construction teams are receiving contracts, but this will lead to job creation and affordable housing throughout Kentari City. Remember, as upper floors are bought and moved into, the lower floors are made available to others at affordable rates. Looking for an 80th floor view? Soon you'll be able to get one. United, we are strong. Recent studies on the connection between unprotected breathing and the so-called smog sickness were inconclusive. Many of the planet's population never wear breathers, and none have been diagnosed with the disease. Remember, eat well and work hard. Staying strong is the only true way to keep from getting ill. Baranu, the Beast Moody, number 15 of the colony feeders, has received more criticism for speaking out against the owners of the various planetary teams. Moody continues to state that the team owners are subjecting the players to horrible living conditions, while the owners all live in penthouse suites. Multiple players have gone on the record that their living conditions are fine, and they are not being bribed to make these statements. A boycott on all Beast souvenirs is still in effect in most cities, though Moody has yet to be suspended by the Sporting Guild.
So, one station focuses on the environment and agriculture to try to create jobs, praises the charitable works of sports personalities, levels criticism against new construction projects that seem unsound, and tells us the smog sickness is on the rise. The other channel focuses more on industrial and business news, alternate fuels and the like, but focuses on the prosperity it could bring, playing down the obvious severity of this sickness by calling it propaganda, and saying that most people don't even need masks. You know, despite literal evidence to the contrary. They claim simply by staying healthy is the way to stave off illness, but that's only an element of truth. They also focus on stories that criticise public figures for their trying to alleviate disproportionate wealth. Man, isn't it such a good job that Earth and the Federation are beyond such petty things? Man, there are no cultural parallels at all going on here. Nope, nothing to see. I think it's time we had a word with the leaders to see why things are such a mess and why we're seeing so much contradictory messaging.
Even here, the poor huddled in misery.
As we approach the building, however, we suffer from another xenophobic attack.
What? Another attack? Is that the last of them? Let's go inside. The Kentari have some explaining to do.
You know, it looks bad, but they are only stunned. That's not plasma, that's sleep gas. Quick disclaimer, this did come out 5 years ago. Also, if you examine every inch of the available streets, you get an award. We reach our original destination, rising high over the surroundings, vanishing into the gloomy layer of poison. I wonder if we'd have ever seen the state the Kentari were in if we'd simply arrived at our destination via transporter. Although, the tactical officer in me does find it suspicious that we were ambushed along the way.
Well, this place is a far cry from the smog and squalor we just left, isn't it?
Above the layers of smoke we can see golden light streaming in from a clearer sky as the building pierces the pollutants. This must be that discrepancy in wealth we'd been hearing about on the news. Clearly, Kamark is of the same opinion as Hale here, and I hope she can detect my sarcasm. We do notice that standing beside the Prime Minister in purple is the man that was on the posters downstairs, with a small face that looks like a wrinkled nutser. Hello.
Welcome to New Kentar. I must apologize for the unfortunate incidents that have taken place. You have arrived during a period of social unrest for our people.
Yeah, I noticed. The attacks gave it away.
I'm afraid so. The decline of our world has split the Kentari into two factions. The reformists, like myself, who wish to gradually change our way of life for the better, and the traditionalists, who cling tightly to the old ways and all of the destruction that comes with them. The Kentari who attacked you were traditionalist soldiers. They see you, and especially the Lukari, as a threat to their existence.
I'm sorry, but what have we done? What have the Lukari done? Can you explain this, please?
It's simple. Your kind are well-armed aliens from an advanced culture. To the Trads, you're hostile invaders. And the Lukari? Dangerous anarchists from our distant past, long thought exiled, now returned. And more dangerous than ever. The troubling part is they may be right about all of you.
Minister Pentaro, such fear is unwarranted. That's why we're here, to talk it out.
Minister Pentaro is in charge of planetary security. It's his job to evaluate all potential threats, foreign and domestic. The idea of working with aliens, with Lukari, will be controversial. That said, our situation is deteriorating. I'm willing to open a dialogue with outside parties.
Such a dialogue will be monitored, however, in the interest of planetary security.
Seems fair.
Your suspicion is misplaced, Minister. We had nothing to do with all this.
Kumake.
You're not wrong, Captain. And we realize the need to do something about it. The privileged few are safe above the pollution, but they live on borrowed time. Ecosystems across the planet are failing. We can no longer afford to...
Prime Minister, do you think it's prudent to discuss such matters with these outsiders?
I mean, it's literally nothing that a cursory scan wouldn't... Hang on, sorry, gotta take this. Just as we were about to begin dialogue, Tarsi tells us she's sighted Tzenkethi in orbit.
Curious. One band of aliens arrives with words of peace, while another arrives bearing the swords of war. How convenient. Coincidence? Or a cunning ruse to weaken our defenses and lower our guard?
Oh, trust me, we're nothing like the Tzenkethi, as you're about to see. I didn't mean that to sound menacing.
I believe you. Our moon is home to our agricultural sites and thousands of Kentari workers. Your help protecting it will be welcomed by my government. The sooner you can begin, the better.
Admittedly, I can see how this does look bad from Minister Bentaro's point of view. It is awful timing on the Tzenkethi's part. But hopefully defending the Kentari will help.
Saving their ships might build some trust with the Kentari.
In the distance we can see the skirmish is now underway, but having fought both the Tzenkethi and the Kentari, Well, I know who I'd put my money on. So we better hurry before the Kentari lose their entire fleet. We fly into the skirmishes to beat back the Tzenkethi vessels. The Kentari do have numbers on their side, but they lack the firepower to make any real progress without us.
Fight on! For the Union! For the Kentari!
I'm reading concentrations of the crystals targeted by the Tzenkethi on the Kentari moon, along with numerous Tzenkethi life signs and several Protomatter signals. We'd better hurry. They may be preparing to detonate more bombs.
Okay, we'll race ahead and try to stop them.
Get to the moon and stop those bombs, now! I hope your people know how to deal with these bombs, Lukari. If this is some kind of trick, you won't live to regret it.
The large Tzenkethi battleship stands between us and the planet, intercepting our fleet. Looks like we're going to have to go through it.
Our shields can't take more of this!
The battle against this warship does cost the lives of several of the Kentari vessels, but more than that, it costs us precious time. As it nears its last legs, the Kentari ships swarm about it, pummeling its shields, death by 1,000 cuts, as it were.
We're too late! We're running away!
Well, shit.
We detected some sort of intense energy detonation on the moon. We're reading 0 life signs there. No one. They're all gone. What did they do to us? What has happened?
The Tzenkethi deployed a Protomatter bomb. It propagates off of organic matter and continues the wave, eradicating everything. I'm sorry.
All is not lost, Minister. While we can't bring back the Kentari who were killed, we can help you restore your moon's food production capabilities in short order.
A likely story. For all we know, this is the precursor to invasion. These aliens have destroyed our food and weakened our military, Prime Minister. They mean to conquer us.
I'm sorry, did you not just see us fighting alongside your own forces against the Tzenkethi?
Calm yourself, Pentaro, and remember who is Prime Minister here. Captain Kumarke, I accept your proposal, provided there's full oversight from the Ministry of Defense at every stage of the operation. You'll understand our need for such security measures, I'm sure.
I won't let you down, Prime Minister. Have your observation team meet mine on the moon at these coordinates. We'll begin as soon as we're able.
So, we witness firsthand the destruction of the Protomatter bomb. An entire planetoid rendered devoid of organic matter within seconds. I guess it's a good job it didn't hit the Kentari home planet, but unless we can restore the agriculture of this moon, they'll die a slower death, starvation. While Kumarki readies the rest cover, which has Protomatter aboard, we fend off some more Tzenkethi.
Protomatter emitters are in place. The matrix is stable and primed for effect. Let me know when you want me to initiate the restoration procedure. Protomatter matrix is stable. We're ready to begin. Initiating primary restoration sequence now. Something is wrong. Everything just stopped. Why? I don't understand. I checked the settings myself. That moon should be covered with crops by now. I could use some assistance down there. Please join me at the worksite. Alright, let's begin by configuring the flow regulators at each of the transmission arrays. I'll observe the flow rates while you make the adjustments.
Understood. Please figure out what's gone wrong. We already failed the Kentari once, let's not do it again. Again, we stand on another desolated planet, just dust and dirt, this time though still settling from the Protomatter wave. Long stretches of barren poles that once were covered in crops all stand deserted. Everyone on this moon is gone. When we're done helping Kamarki, answers become apparent.
Curious. Someone made adjustments to the transmitters that could cause a detonation similar to a Protomatter bomb. But whoever did it wasn't familiar with Lukari tech. We have safeguards to prevent such a thing, so instead of blowing up, it just didn't work. I hate to say it, but I believe one of the Kentari observers made those adjustments.
That's a hell of an accusation to make, we better be sure, but fortunately, the evidence we need soon attacks us, and we have to protect Kamarki while she corrects the sabotage.
I'm taking fire here! Help!
Rogue Kentari traditionalists jump in from the walls around the farmstead and attempt to stop us. Presumably they're beaming in from Kentari ships in orbit.
They just don't know when to quit, do they? Oh, Protomatter secured. We're safe. Those were traditionalists. I suspect one of their operatives was behind the sabotage here as well. I've locked out access to everyone but you and me. We can make things right without any interference once we return to our ships.
Then by all means, let's begin by fixing this. The rest's up to the Kentari.
All systems are online. We're ready to go. Initiating restoration process now.
Protomatter matrix deployed. Everything's in the green. We did it!
It worked. Our sensors are showing a stable protomatter matrix in the formation of crops at all production sites. We owe you a profound debt of gratitude. Thank you.
Well, no, this was all on the Lukari, really. It was their tech that fixed this. No thanks to the traditionalists that attacked us down there.
Their actions have shamed us all, but they will not get away with it, I assure you. Minister Pentaro is looking into it personally. He has sent some ships to escort you back to New Kentar.
Yep, we have them on sensors. We see them. They're coming in with weapons armed on attack vectors. Shields.
Alien vessels, surrender or be destroyed!
Quiet! I'm walking out.
Okay, I don't want to sound too proud here, but it literally took us all of about 4 seconds to neutralise their interception fleet.
You forced my hand. You and your pathetic Lukari bootlicker. It's time to end this. I will make New Kentar safe once more. Safe from you and the rest of the alien filth in the galaxy.
Pentaro. The rest of the galaxy outnumbers the Kentari. Stand down, final warning.
Exile was too good for the Lukari. We should have wiped you out.
Well, he's showing his true colours now, isn't he?
Not everyone in the Defense Force is loyal to Pentaro.
Even their flagship, the Factoria, is frankly not up to snuff when compared to Alliance technology, which was forged in battles against the Iconians. With that, we managed to disable all of the Kentari ships. Hopefully, casualties on them remain light. This is already a diplomatic nightmare as it is. The thing is about these guys, they seem to have spent a lot of their time looking backwards to the old ways of doing things, which kind of means their technology and tactics haven't moved on at all.
I've suspected Pentaro was a traditionalist for some time, but I thought he placed the people before his personal beliefs. I was wrong. His madness nearly killed us all. And for what? Pride, hate, and fear. I wish to formally apologize and thank all of you in person. Under the circumstances, we should meet on one of your vessels. The Rescava, if you're agreeable.
I think that would make us and the Lukari very happy.
This is a momentous occasion. I'm glad you're here to share it with us. Diplomacy is part of a captain's job, as you know. I hope I'm up for the challenge.
You got this.
Welcome to the Rescava, Prime Minister. I look forward to working together.
Thank you, Captain. Most kind of you after all that's happened. We almost lost everything today. Instead, we can begin to build a better future, thanks to you. There will be resistance from people like Pentaro, but we must continue to look ahead. To that end, we hope to work together with you and your allies.
I'm happy to hear it. Kentari and Lukari have lived apart far too long. We've recently begun to explore beyond our world. Perhaps we can do so together.
Perhaps. We've got a lot of work to do before then, however.
Indeed we do.
Well then, let's get started, shall we?
When the talks conclude, Kamaki confirms that she suspects there will be more like Pentaro to overcome on both sides, the Lukari and the Kentari, but looks forwards to at least trying to open a dialogue. Change will take time, but with eyes fixed firmly on a peaceful outcome, we'll get there eventually. Until then, however, thanks for watching this episode of the Star Trek Online story series, and I hope to see you back next time as we continue to explore the ever-expanding narrative of Star Trek Online. I've been Rick, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you later. Goodbye.